So following up on that, the wobbles and getting all that, we were at a party the other.
Don't you like the wobble? Isn't the wobble good?
Yeah.
Don't you like understanding the wobble? Doesn't it make perfect sense to you? Don't you want to deal with the wobble when it's a little wobble instead of when it's a big wobble? Yeah. Momentum.
So we were at a 4th of July party, and a lot of people were there, a lot of kids were there, and I was just looking up on the hill and watching kids play. And it just sort of amazed me. They're just sort of in the now. It's called like in the vortex, just enjoying the moment, no wobble, just really having fun. I started thinking about that, thought, how do we as adults sort of fall out of that? And then the second question is, how do we adults fall back into that?
Well, that's really what we're talking about here. So look at, when you see something that is the way you want to be, try to identify what the components of it. Were they discussing job opportunities? Did you hear the conversation about world peace? Did you hear the political commentary?
No, I think
They
it was more
probably
about
were
who got
talking
on the
about
swing next.
popsicles.
Yeah, popsicles and swings.
In other words, so they haven't complicated their life with, they're not the best question ever and best answer ever. They are not yet believing that they have to control conditions. They're taking it as it comes more. Oh, you're trying to teach them that as fast as you can. That their happiness is conditional on what they do. But they're not having as much of it as you are, you see. That's all that it is. They're in that more general place. And don't you notice, as they get, you see, we are not for a moment wanting to distract you from the delicious, fast-moving, momentous details of your life experience. Oh, to have a thought that you don't contradict and allow law of attraction to make it more. Oh, when a general thought that has no wobble turns into a more and more and more and more and more specific thought that has no wobble, it is indescribable how delicious it is. And sometimes we think that as you listen to us, you think we're trying to talk you in to something that's slow moving. We only want you to slow down when it's wobbling. We want you to speed it up when it's not wobbling. And so there's less wobble with them. That's all. There's less wobble. There's less wobble because there are fewer conditions that they're using as their excuse to wobble. So. And even among them, some of them are more lighthearted than others. In other words, some of them get pretty serious early on as they care so much about what you think that they're willing to jump through conditional hoops in order to please you and set aside their own guidance, you see. And then the best part of your question, how do you get back to it? By caring about the way you feel. By seeing the children play and wishing that you could feel like that, and you can. You can. Oh. When you are playing in this wobble-free environment and you've got the energy that creates worlds flowing through you, it's fun. It's really, really fun. Something more?
I think so. The answer really is just find things that are fun.
Yeah, find things that are fun, but how do you go about that? In other words, if you're sifting through all of the things that are going on, it's unlikely that you're going to find things that are fun. So you have to find a vibration that allows you to feel the fun. You have to find some way of not doing that thing you do that prevents it. The best way we have of describing that is the fun, the alignment, the clarity, the who you really are is like a cork bobbing on the surface of the water. You can hold it under the water. But when you let go of it, it's going to bob right back up. So it's no longer doing the action that prevents it. And in this conversation, the action that prevents most of the fun is being off there in the weeds, trying to sort out the pros and the cons and the pluses and the minuses and the rightnesses and the wrongness of this and this and this and this and this and this and this. In other words, do you accept that you were source energy before you came into this body? And does it feel sort of logical to you? It's completely logical. It is the way that it is, but we're just asking how far you can come along in it. Does it make sense to you that when you sift through life experience and you come to something that, some desire of something that you want, something that you prefer, is it logical to you that the reason that you prefer it is because it's in alignment with who you really are? Let's introduce the word or the idea of trajectory. Find a starting place here. When you reemerge into non-physical, you will leave behind all of the conditions that have prevented you from pure alignment with who you are, and you will reemerge into perfect alignment. And so the non-physical you, this non-physical you, is unconditional. That's the thing that Source has an advantage over you in your human form. The conditions of, there are not conditions that are preventing that alignment. So from that unconditional knowing of your value and your love, you present yourself again into this physical body. So there's a trajectory of that pure, positive energy, confidence, clarity, love, Source. And here you are. Splat, you're born into this physical experience. So now, here you are, just like you planned, on your trajectory, just like you planned, exploring the details, just like you planned, and coming to personal, blessed preferences. And each one of those preferences continuing that trajectory of well-being that you are from Source. So every rocket of desire you launch is about more. It's about value. It's about love. It's about clarity. That's how Source is defining itself more through you. And here you are in your physical form having thoughts. And the question that we ask all day, every day is your thought going along with the way Source sees you? Is this thought in this moment a true trajectory of that Source energy that is you? Or have you deviated? Are you loving and going with Source? Or are you hating and deviating? Are you liking yourself and going with Source? Or are you mad at yourself and deviating? Are you feeling appreciation for this world and all that it is? Or are you feeling critical and deviating? In other words, are you on your path? Are you on the path of least resistance? And why is it the path of least resistance? Because it's not the path of least resistance. It's the path of no resistance. The path of no resistance is the path that the Source within you is feeling all the time, you see. But the question that we ask you is, are you taking that path of no resistance, of least resistance, or are you going about it the hard way? Are you trying to control all the conditions? Are you trying to evaluate everything from the standpoint of its rightness and its wrongness? Or are you unconditionally being in the world, you say? So as you reach for the thought that feels best and reach for the thought that feels best, you train yourself into alignment with who you really are until you can have a thought about anything that dovetails with the energy that creates worlds, and you can then know the true power of who you are. Talk about the path unfolding. This is a path that is unfolding. The question is, are you on it? Your path is unfolding. You launched the rockets and your path unfolded and your path is going. The only question that this gathering wants to ask and answer is, are you on the path or are you taking some other track? Are you mad at Obama? Or? In other words, what excuses are you using? What conditions of the world are you using as your excuse to not be on your path? That's the only question. Oh, it was a good path when you got here and you've added to it in powerful ways ever since. The only question, step 3 of this 3-step process of deliberate creation is, are you on the path? And you can tell by the way you feel whether you are or you're not. And if you're not on the path, don't stay out there in the weeds of trying to sift and sort through all of those conditions. It's the hard way. Just get back on the path the easy way. Get back on the path. Would I rather love or hate? Abraham, right now I hate you. Would you rather feel good or not feel good? Well, of course, I would rather feel good. What's wrong with you? Would you rather be clear-minded or confused? I choose confusion. We know that you want to feel good. We know that you want to feel good. You just have to find a little piece of the path and stay there long enough that another piece shows up and another piece shows up until you trust that the path of least resistance is always revealing itself to you. But sometimes you are not in a position to realize it. And that's what turning thoughts to things is. It's preparing yourself for the realization of the next step on your path. The next step. The step with more fun, the step with more money, the step with more options, the step with more vitality, the step with more energy, the step with more pieces, the step with more momentum. It's always more fun to go faster unless you're out of control. Esther's got that little Audi R8. She loves taking it out to find out. She does not test it beyond her belief in her ability to control the car. She's been driving these high-profile buses and high-profile SUVs where she doesn't have as much control at high speeds because of momentum and because of inertia and because of gravity. She adjusts within the physiology and of this time-space reality. She knows what her limits are. Well, she hasn't discovered them yet. But she likes the feeling of speed in control. Speed in control. The fastest momentum in control, you see. Don't go faster than the physics of your world. So the off-ramp, it's actually not an off-ramp, it's a juncture onto another highway. So it's off of this highway and onto another, and it's big and it's wide. And there's quite an incline to it, and so the sign is posted at 45 miles an hour, which made sense when she was driving the monster bus. Don't want to go faster than that on that curve, but in the Audi R8, 45 is like standing still, so it's 55. She took that exit 7 times, drove 100 miles out of her way to do it. 45, 55, 65, 75. No, it was 75. 75 was a little scary. 85, 85. 85 was as far as she went that day. 85 on a 45. 85. Her car is named Phantom because it's invisible. It's invisible to the police officers. So this is what we are encouraging you to do. You want to go as fast as you can go while you're in control. If you got to wobble, don't keep thinking about it. Don't continue to have the conversation when you're wobbling. That's just going to make the wobble more and more and more and more and more, and that's what makes you not trust. That's what makes you not believe in yourself. That's what makes you not believe in the laws of the universe. That's what makes you not believe that you are supported by Source. You are so supported by Source, by confidence, by clarity, by the laws of the universe. You can be or do or have anything, but you've got to be in alignment with your own power. Nice to know?
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.